So when you get out of bed this morning, did your mind go to thinking about what's the best case scenario for the day? I mean, did you start to think about how could we make this day the best day possible? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking your mind went to the list of things you had to do today, or the logistics of how am I going to make this all work, or what's the appointments I have coming up today or later this week that you're kind of nervous about, or the meds that you've just started. Is it really making a difference? And it's probably things like the what ifs, or, what if this happens today? What am I going to do? And make sure I don't forget to do this because that's really important. I don't want to have to deal with any of the fallout of that, or the 17 other things that could go wrong just before breakfast. I mean, is that what your mind went through today? That's what most of us go through, especially if you're managing care. It's just a constant flow of stuff. And most of that stuff you wouldn't classify it as good stuff. Basically, we start our day in some sort of stress mode. Maybe it's low stress, but it's still stress. Because we've been told that, you just got to be realistic about what's in store for you. But let me ask you, okay, maybe you didn't think about that this morning, but how often do you think about a best case scenario? How often do you not think about, well, what's the worst that can happen, or not the disaster plan that everyone tells you have to be prepared for, and not the mental spreadsheet of what would happen if it all falls apart? I'm talking about the best case, right? Why can't you just think about that? For families like us, for families who, have to add extra care to their workload, we've been told to brace for disappointment, or just assume these limits and don't get your hopes up. We've been told to expect less. And when you live in that world day after day, you start planning around fear, not about possibility or what could be good coming out of this day. But here's one of the big things that I've learned after all the stuff that we've been through, is that you can't prepare for a best case scenario if all you're doing is planning for a worst case one. That doesn't mean denying that things aren't bad, that things could go wrong. It means choosing to believe that something better is possible and then doing the work to be ready for it. You have to get ready for it. That's what I want to talk to you about today. It's not just thinking about what could be better, what's the best case. You got to get ready for it when it shows up. So last week, I stood on the steps of Ben's high school, where he graduated 12 years ago. The same steps that we were told he'd never, ever be able to walk into. And he doesn't walk into it. He uses a wheelchair. But that's okay. He still went to school. He still graduated. And I did a video, so check it out and listen to that incredible story. Basically, how he has shown us how to live our lives. And I shared a few things that I wish someone had told me the day before Ben was born. And the comments that people came back with after watching it just blew me away. One person said, this should be printed in every healthcare's training room. And another person said, your story helped me rethink about how I talk to myself. I mean, who am I to have that kind of impact? Well, it's really Ben. But I mean, this is something that's real. This is something that can have a huge impact and change your life. And one thing I didn't talk about in that video, it's not just the belief that gets you that stage. It's what you build around it, because you've got to be ready. And being ready doesn't just mean you're emotionally strong. I mean, that's an important part, but it's way more than that. It means getting organized and taking control of what you can take control. Don't just let things happen. Because what belief does, it doesn't just hope for a better future. It builds the structure around what that future could be. One of the ways I learned to do that was I created this one-page medical summary sheet that has everything to do about Ben's meds and when he takes them. If you want the template for that, just put meds in the comments and I'll send it to you. It's free. Well, that's just one part, one page, and there are 100 other moving pieces in your life, right? But this one tool helped me to stop relying on my memory of all the meds, right? It's all there explicit in one page. It's so simple, but it got me in control of that piece of his life, of that piece of our life, so that we would show up prepared, especially in high pressure moments. They didn't have to remember all the pieces in there. It was one tool that helped me stop relying on memory and not scrambling and trying to, do the math in my head and figure out, what the dosage was, so that we showed up prepared. Now, I know you're thinking, what's medical summary sheet have to do with belief and possibility. But here's the kicker. Belief isn't passive, it's active. It prepares, it leads, it organizes. Because when you take control of that piece of information, when you walk into that doctor's appointment or you walk into the room and you have that stuff organized, you can start to take control of the narrative. You can start to shape the story, because then you're not just managing care. You can affect the outcome. You're stepping out of the chaos and the unpredictability of what happened into something that's more grounded. So what you're saying is, I expect this to go forward. I expect this to go this way, and I'm going to get ready for that. I'm going to prepare for that. And something as simple as a 1-page medical summary sheet can do that for you. It doesn't fix everything. No way it fixes everything. But then you're not always in crisis mode. You have control over that one aspect so that you can get ready for what comes next. So you can carry the possibility of what you believe in and not let it slip through your fingers because everything is coming at you 100 miles an hour. I've used this sheet and almost every day when we have a new caregiver starting or we show it to one of the nurses we have. They say this is gold. This is makes it so much easier for the care to be delivered. You know why? Because it saves time. It lowers stress. It's all there right in front of you. And it's just 1 page. And most of all, it builds trust. So I know I've talked about possibility, but I want to give you this 1-page medical summary sheet. I want you to start to get control and get ready for things that can happen in your life. So that's what I'm offering today. I'm offering to get this one piece of your life organized so that you can be ready for the possibilities that are down the road. So you can start to organize your thoughts around best case scenarios and take the chaos and the fear away just around medications. It's free. Just put meds in the comments and you get it for free. There's no logins. There's nothing. There's no strings attached because you're already doing so much. Just get it out of your head onto this page. It's so simple so that you can start to maybe consider best case scenarios a little more easily. This is what belief looks like in action. It's taking control. It's not just hoping that things will get better. It's preparing for when they do. You don't have to accept the story that they've told you. You can start to shape a new one and write a new one. And sometimes it just starts with something as small as being ready so that you can start to think more often about what the best case scenarios could be. Tell me in the comments. Put meds in the comments, but tell me what you're thinking. Send me an email. I want to talk about this. I want to help you get ready and start thinking more about best case scenarios. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope it's a best case scenario day. Take it easy.